Hello, Mandela class. Welcome back to your science lesson. Thank you to those of you who joined me on the live chat this morning. You shared one opinion with me about what you struggled with in our previous science lesson, where we drew our own spider diagram to represent the knowledge that we already had about magnets and forces and some questions that you may have had. So the feedback was that you didn't know, you struggled a little bit with the different types of magnets. So I just wanted to remind you that that's absolutely fine because we haven't learned about magnets just yet. That spider diagram was just to see the knowledge that you already had about magnets and forces. And I could see that some of you already knew some things, but don't worry, your questions will hopefully be answered in the next few lessons where we learn a little bit more about them. So today's learning objective is, can I understand the meaning of scientific words? So we're going to look at key vocabulary and their definition. So you need to pay really close attention because your last task is going to be you representing the key vocabulary either as pictures or matching it to the correct definition. So let's start. I'm going to do my turn, your turn, and you're going to repeat each word after me. Magnets, poles, forces, attract, north, south, friction, repel. Okay, now let's look at the meaning of these words. Magnets. If you want to pause the video and have a go at reading these yourselves, you are free to do so, and then play the video when you're ready. So magnets are objects that have an invisible magnetic field that pulls or pushes magnetic materials towards or away from it. Poles. One of the two ends of a magnet where the magnetism is found. So this is the South Pole and this is the North Pole. Forces. A force is the motion, push or pull of an object. A force can cause an object to accelerate, slow down, remain in place, or change shape. So if we look at some of the forces here, these two, the North Pole and the South Pole, attract towards each other. So what are they doing? Are they pulling away from each other or pushing towards each other? Here, the North and North Pole, they repel. And two South Poles also repel. So they are pushing away from each other. Whereas the North and South Pole pull towards each other. Attract. Attract is a force that pulls objects towards it. So as we looked at the previous slide, the North and South Pole pull towards each other. And similarly, if we had an object that was magnetic, the magnet will pull it towards, will pull the object towards itself. Repel, a force that pushes objects away. So two North Poles or two South Poles push away from each other. So they repel. North. The north pole of a magnet is usually the red end of a magnet, where the magnetism is found. South. The south pole is usually the blue end of a magnet, where the magnetism is found. Magnetic. Magnetic materials have the power to pull or be pulled towards another object. So if the north and south pole are magnetic, they have the power to be pulled towards each other, or they have the power to pull a magnetic object towards them. Friction. A force that acts in the opposite direction to the way an object wants to slide. Anytime two objects rub against each other, they cause friction. So this is a pushing force. They are pushing against each other and it is causing friction. Okay, now your task is, you could start off with writing the word, each of the vocabulary words, and drawing a picture next to it to represent what the word means. Then your second task is on the next slide, which I will show you in a second. You have the key vocabulary and you have the definition next to it, but they are all jumbled up. So what you need to do is write the first key vocabulary and then write down the correct definition next to it. And then your third task is to write your own sentences using the vocabulary. So you're going to use your understanding of what the word means and use that word in a sentence. You could reword the definition of the key vocabulary into your own words to come up with your own sentence. So this is more relevant to task 2 and 3, but you could also use it for task 1 if you need a reminder of what the words mean for you to then draw a picture to represent it. So these are your key vocabulary. These are the definitions. You're now going to get on with your tasks. So write down the key vocabulary and draw a picture next to it to represent it. And then as your second task, you're going to write the key vocabulary with the correct definition. So you need to read through these and see, for example, which one matches the definition for magnets. And you're going to write it next to it. And then finally, you're going to use the key vocabulary in a sentence of your own. Make sure that your work is neatly presented with your best handwriting as usual, and make sure you upload your work onto Tapestry. And I will see you in the next video. Well done, Mandela class. Bye.